Reggie Reg of the Crash Crew. Welcome to Radio Zero.
No doubt, no doubt. What's going on? What's going on? Everything good?
Oh, everything's great over here. Have you been busy?
Okay. Well, I'll tell you, we haven't been busy as we was, let's say 30 years ago when we first came out.
Right.
You got to remember, we were one of the first 10 hip hop groups in existence. You know what I'm saying? As far as vinyl was concerned. You know what I'm saying? As far as vinyl was concerned, making records since 1979, 1980. But we still are relevant. We're still in the community. We're not on tour all over the place like that because, you know, we haven't made any records since the 80s. But we've still been active in the community. We have like 3 or 4 grassroots organizations. We got 3 or 4 productions doing showcases, seminars. We do hip-hop sightseeing tours. We got international guests come from all over the world every day, and we teach them about the culture of hip-hop. And we still get out. You know what I'm saying? At 53 years old, we doing good. You know what I'm saying? We doing good.
Amen.
Yes.
Love that.
Indeed.
If anybody wants to get in touch with you in order to participate in any of these events, how would they keep up to date with what you're doing and get involved?
They would just go online. Really, I'm on Facebook like every minute. All right, I'm in trouble with Facebook. I'm really hypnotized with the whole thing. But it's funny. You can contact us definitely through Facebook, some of the things that we do, or you can go to, we don't have a web page or anything yet, but if you want to do any like hip hop sightseeing tours or anything like that, you can go to www.hushtours.com. Now, I wanna put up a web page, right? But I don't have time to maintain it. You know what I'm saying? I'm old school. I probably need an intern or something like that to help me out. Right now, I'm working. I keep my day job. You know what I'm saying? Because, like I said, it's been a minute.
Yeah.
I work as a residential aide up here in the Bronx for ex-offenders. And I also work with building supplies for the movie theaters and some of the filming companies in New York City. We supply like the stages and the props and all that stuff like that. You know, when you go to Broadway and you see the props up for the plays on Broadway and stuff, but we supply all the material for them. Our company has been around for that I work for, a very prestigious company, Lee Noble Lumber. I work for them couple of years. We had a big 50th anniversary party this year. We had the Sugar Hill Gang and myself turned it up for them and everything. It was crazy. It was real crazy.
I bet it was.
So we plan a lot of things this summer. You know, it's like a lot of free concerts and stuff like that. You can catch us out there doing our thing. I'm working on some new music because I know, well, everybody loves to hear the classics. You know what I'm saying? So I ain't never going to stop performing the classics. But we want to do some new stuff for the young people as well. So I have, you know, a few new groups that want to roll out with the old school. You know what I'm saying? Do an old to the new thing. And I have some new music as well that I want to introduce to the world. But I'm not sure yet. Should I introduce it as, you know, as Crash Crew? You know what I'm saying? Because some of the crew members are not really, you know, active right now as far as, you know, doing music, you know, because we got grandkids and stuff. You know what I'm saying? So there's a whole different playing field out here now. You know what I'm saying? You got your Drakes, your Jay-Z's, and your Fabulouses and all this old stuff. So we in our own niche. We stay in our own lane. You know what I'm saying? We're not trying to be Puff Daddy or anybody like that. We got our own market, our own people. You know, and just because you over 40 don't mean you don't like hip hop no more. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
So we here for the 40 and over crowd. You know what I'm saying? If you really check Facebook and check for some of the legends or the veterans, you'll see that everybody really pretty much is still active in their own lane. You can go to the Fearless Four, check my man Mighty Mike C out. He got a thing called the Cold Coffee Crew that he jumps up every morning. He has like, I think he got over like 2,000 followers. You know what I'm saying? They do events like every 4 months or so. They do events here in New York City, and they have a big turnout. And as you know, Grandmaster Caz is doing this thing. If you check guys like B-Fats, if you want to check B-Fats, like the Harlem old school B-Fats, is definitely like ruling right now. His sons, he got like 3 sons that's out here tearing it up. 4 quarter boys. They doing a lot of, they run the Bronx, all right? They run all the clubs in the Bronx.
I love it.
So you got DJ Hollywood, he's still tearing up Team Hollywood. So all of veterans and pioneers are still out here, still doing their thing.
Yes.
And you know what I'm saying? New York is the home of hip hop. It started here. This the seed. You know what I'm saying? So everything is great. Everything is great. I think I'm talking too much. I don't think yet.
No, please don't stop. Just keep going. I'm leaning forward here. I'm listening to every word.
So, no, you got to ask a question now. We're doing our thing. We all right. We good. We good.
Awesome. Okay, and I want personally to go on one of those hip hop tours because I have seen Grandmaster Caz promoting that a lot on his.
Oh my God, you got to see that. That's the nice. I was gonna say the side job, but it's not the side job because it's such a beautiful thing to have a great job where you can teach and talk about your culture every day to like. I mean, we've been doing this tour for like over 12 years, and we must have already discussed the culture of hip-hop with over 1 million people from different countries. You know what I'm saying? I had some people...
It still needs clarification, too,
where
a lot of these people don't understand.
Exactly. And the more hip-hop grows, hip-hop will be a half a century in another 10 years. It'll be as old as rock and roll. So you got you know, this is like the 5th generation of hip hop coming in. So you don't want them to lose the culture and say, well, you know, Lil Wayne started hip hop 30 years from now. You don't want that. You know what I'm saying? Lil Wayne, much respect to him and everything, but you know what I'm saying? You gotta just get it right. You gotta get it right. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So it's just a beautiful thing just to be out there and like I said, you know, talking to people from Israel, the UK, Switzerland, and all parts of the world. You never know who's gonna be in a Hush tour. One week we had one of the singers from LL Cool J's song, Round the Way Girl. Yeah. I'll be your round-the-way girl round. You know the song, right? Yes. She starts singing, and we tore the bus up, man. We have a grand time. We have a grand time with you. Now, are you in New York City?
I'm in New Jersey. I'm in South New Jersey.
Oh, so you ain't that far? Okay. So we gotta hook up since you're not that far away. The summertime is coming. The weather is nice. You know what I'm saying? And
it's my bucket list.
Yes, there you go. I thank you for that. Indeed, definitely. So talk to me. Radio Zero.
100 questions. I really do have 100 questions because you have so much history all wrapped up in you. Can you please paint a picture of what it was like? Because you were an originator. You were one of the first.
Yeah, we was the first generation of hip hop. We were the first generation of hip hop under vinyl. I'm gonna say under vinyl because our version of hip hop started around 1973 with Kool Herc, Grandmaster Flash, and Africa Bambaataa. They're considered to be like the Trinity, the forefathers of hip hop. Them 3 guys from like 73 up to about 75, especially Grandmaster Flash, Kool Herc, Copeland Rock, these guys. Then you got the Funky Four, 1976, 77. You got the Zulu Nation, which is around 73. They've been here. So you got the Cosmic Force. Those was before vinyl. And in Harlem, in the Bronx and Harlem was the first 2 brothers, like not Cain and Abel, but first the Love Brothers. There was no war or anything going on. So when Bronx, it trickled down to Harlem. So the pioneering Harlem groups that you got before vinyl You got Donald D, Sapphire Disco Crew, Lovebug Starsky, DJ Hollywood, Eddie Chiba. You got guys like that. So that's like 76, 77. I mean, I need to write a book. I need to write a book.
You do.
It's crazy. So by 78, by 1978, 79, in Harlem, you had the Magnificent Seven. You had Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, who is, Andre Harrell, who is the vice president of Motown now, Motown's urban music, and was the guy that Puff Daddy was interning for at Uptown Records. At Uptown Records when they had Genuine, Total, Missy Elliott, and all these guys. Uptown had Heavy D and the Boys. I think they had Rex in Effect. Teddy Riley was engineering. There's engineering there. There's a lot of acts that was there. And we talking early hip hop. So, and when vinyl came out in 79, you had, like 40-something records that came out, but only a few of them was hits. You know what I'm saying? So the history is real. Like I said, I need to write a book. I don't know how long your show is. So I don't want to, what's up, brother? I don't want to be talking on
3 hours. We're okay. Trust me, we're okay. We got 3 hours.
Oh, shit. All right. Okay. All right, cool. So pretty much that was the spill of it in 79. In 1980, is when most of the hip hop really started playing on radio, like the Sugar Hill Gang came out. Andre Harrell, we're talking about the early pioneering groups. Andre Harrell was down with Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. Right? The Crash Crew, Treacherous 3, The Fearless 4. These was your hot groups in Harlem. Right? On vinyl. Now, in the Bronx, you had Grandmaster Flash, Funky 4 plus one more. Right? Busy Bee Starsky. And in Harlem, you had Spoonie G. Spoonie G, who was our solo MC from Harlem. You know what I'm saying? So we had groups and we had solo MCs as well. So by like 81, hip-hop is blowing up. 82 is blowing up even bigger. That's when we on tour. Everything hip-hop is still brand new. It's still pretty not accepted, not even in the Grammys at this time. I think Will Smith and them were the first group to get a Grammy, but they wanted to give it to them in the back door or something like that, or behind the curtain. They didn't want to televise it, and they had a big protest. I'm not sure exactly what year that was. You could probably check that out. But they had a big protest, and Michael Jackson and them stepped in, Stevie Wonder and them stepped in, and they said, okay, we gotta put them on stage. We can't just say, we gave them on the award and turn it off. So they had to acknowledge it. And then 83 and then 84 is the beginning of the second era. And that's when you have the technology changing. We went from Betamax to digital, and you got the videos and everything like that. So you got Run DMC, LL, Beastie Boys, Public Enemy. You got the real Technicolor age right now. Now you can actually see hip hop all over the world. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
It's not so, and a lot of other coaches accepted it. And they start MCing in different languages, and the seed has been planted. After 84, everybody is good. Everybody is hip hop. Even the rock and roll kids is turning to hip hop.
My question is, do you feel that the competition that brought about backbiting,
I feel
that was worse
it's definitely changed. It's definitely changed. It is. It definitely changed. It's definitely changed. Each generation, now this is my opinion, right? This is my opinion.
Yes.
Each generation, let's say every 10 years, like you got your 80s babies, you got your 90s babies, and you got your 2000 babies. That's a generation of hip hop. That's a generation.
Right.
And every generation it changes. Now the 70s babies, right, which is the Grandmaster Flashes, Sugar Hills, the B Fast, the DJ Hollywoods, the Crash Crews, the Treacherous Threes. Your first generation, it was about having fun. Because we were 16, 17, 18 years old. We wasn't getting no $1 million record deals in 1970. And we was just about having fun, MCing, You know what I'm saying? Getting on the mic, tearing it up, having, getting the girls, going to karate flicks. That's what we were thinking about. You know what I'm saying? Until about 1981, we was like, yo, there's a lot of money to be made in this shit. So we may need to get us some lawyers. We may need to do some of this, some of that. And we had no idea. We had no idea that first generation had no idea that 30, 40 years from now it would be a multi-billion-dollar industry. No idea.
That's terrible.
No idea. We only 18, 19, 20. We think we know it all at that age. So now you got the 80s, right? The 80s come in, and the 80s about having fun too, but now you got Russell Simmons and them at the helm, and they learned from Curtis Blow and them from the first generation that, yo, it's some dollars to be made, especially now that the culture has opened up to different cultures. You know what I'm saying? You got green people, white people, yellow people, brown people. Everybody is not just in New York anymore. Like in the 70s, it was just in New York City. It was just in New York City. They say it was over in California. That may be true too, but it wasn't worldwide. It wasn't in Israel. It wasn't in Sweden. It wasn't in Australia. You know what I'm saying? Until 1980. So now you went from being in one city to being damn near all over the world. So that's like a penny a person. You're going to make $1 billion if, just doing it. So that was the 80s. So when the 80s came in, it still was about having fun, and it was still cultural because adults were still in charge in the 80s until we had babies having babies. And then, then this started getting crazy like 80, 89, when the gangster rap coming out, and now the 90s is a new generation because the gangster rap was introduced in the late 80s. But by the 90s, it's full blown. By the 90s, you got Biggie, Wu-Tang. You got a lot of groups in the 90s. I can't name them all because I'm old school. But you know what I'm talking about. So now, the gangster rap is in. Everybody's a thug. There's still some positive music, but it's kind of like America to me is like Rome. Love, blood, glory, guts, sex, drugs, and rock and roll. We need action. We don't want no love story. Somebody got to get killed. Somebody got to get shot. Somebody got to have sex. Yo, we need to see it all. That's how America is to me. I'm an American. I mean, I think I'm an American, but you know what I'm saying? It's all good. And this is what I'm brought up on this, so what do you want me to do? You know what I'm saying? So it's crazy how hip-hop has changed from the 90s now to the 2000s. So now the 2000s, what are the kids into? What are they into? Because hip-hop doesn't seem to get older. It seems the same age for each generation. Because now, as for the first generation from the 70s where it was developed, now it's more like an evolution in people now. Kids is coming out the womb MCing, freestyling, the art of freestyling. Don't you know there's kids that just can rhyme off the top of their head for like 5 or 10 minutes?
I love that.
40 years ago, we was writing rhymes on paper. Now they're just fluently spitting lyrical content out of their head. So it's evolution. It's like an X gene. Hip hop is like an X, like mutants now. You know what I'm saying? So it's just crazy. It's crazy. And I love it. Yeah. I'm loving it because I'm glad to be a part of the apex of it, the beginning of it, and still being here to have some gratitude for hip hop. I love the new school. You know what I'm saying? Because, I mean, I remember a time where when rap was the light and all these songs, Crash Food Treasure 3, and our parents was like, that's trash, that's garbage. Y'all not playing no instruments or nothing. Y'all just writing some poets, some rhymes, and taking other people's music.
Yeah,
but
I know what you mean.
So now, it's been over almost 40, 35 years. I think 30-some years. My math ain't that good. But it's been enough time where, you know what I'm saying, it's going on forever. It's not going to stop. You know what I'm saying? It's just going to grow with each generation. You know, some Lil Wayne to be running for president. That's my dude. I gotta plug him. And it's all good. It's all good and great.
But it's all individuality. As long as people are not fighting and they're not imitating somebody else and they're continuing with that individuality, that I don't mind. It's when everybody jumps on board and they think that they can rap all of a sudden, and they're not studying the greats. They're not studying. They're not studying, or they're not practicing. They're not working at their art. They just think it comes naturally. It takes work.
I agree. I agree with you. But they have a thing now called commercial and marketing, right? So it's more like this is what the people are into, and it's a thing called corporation.
They just shape this image and put the image out there.
Because at one time, the public was in control of who was hot and who was not. The public was in control at one time. But after the technology changed and everybody is like, you can get programmed real easy. You can get programmed real easy now. I mean, the aliens got us by the kahunas right now. If they pull this technology away, half of us would perish instantly. Instantly.
Yeah. Oh, do people even buy albums? Do people even buy albums anymore?
Man, I did a tour, right? I did a tour, a sightseeing tour. I had some people with me from, I don't know where they were from. I think it was Australia, but they was young people. They was like about 13, 14 years old. Okay. And on the tour, we show them things, you know, such as an album or a record. Right. And we asked them, you know, well, do you know what this is? Blah, blah, blah. And explain to them. So they looked at the record and they said, wow, they have black CDs. That's a big CD, though. They said, that's kind of like a big CD, though. He's like, really? You're on the right tour. That's not a CD. Really, That's what we call a record. And you exactly with a cassette. Like if you show somebody a cassette, show an 8-year-old or a 10-year-old cassette, and I guarantee you he will not know what that is.
Or a reel-to-reel.
Oh, you can forget about it. He may think that's a reel. Is that I don't know. But it's just crazy. That's what we gotta do. What we gotta do. We gotta do it. We gotta do it good.
I have kind of like a little vote going on with people that I've interviewed, and I say analog versus digital, quality-wise.
Well, I'm gonna be honest with you. I'll be very honest. I'm an MC. And I usually let my DJ worry about all that. I'm for you. I'm old school. Listen, just put it on, let me rock. You take care of the sound.
I love it.
But from what I heard from guys, they say digital is a little better. They say digital is a little better, is a little more purer, and maybe when you have like a nice raw bass, you can really feel some bass. Like I only hear a few records that got a nice bass line. Like Swiss Beats, when he make a beat, oh my gosh, some of his beats is crazy. Now you know who has some nice beats too? I've heard 50 Cent. 50 Cent has some nice bass line beats. Because I like to listen to instrumentals. I love the rap that's going on it, but that pulls me in for the instrumental. And there's a lot of them out here that you can tell it's like a popcorn type of hip hop, like it's all machines and no music.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
You know what I'm saying? So that's what we call it. We call it like popcorn hip hop. It's all machine, you know, and no music. You know what I'm saying? So, and that's what it is now. We in the future. You know what I'm saying? I can't dictate to somebody, you know, 30 years younger than me, this is what you should be listening to. Because music is supposed to be a choice. It's supposed to be a choice of your personality, of what you like to listen to. I mean, but they got the program going on, but it's really supposed to be a choice. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's a good point.
It's supposed to be a choice. It's supposed to be a choice.